I would like to involve the Pathfinders in our song service. So I'm going to ask Soraya and Tobia to come and sing with us. So as we are about to begin, we would like to begin with a word of prayer. So we are asking everyone to stand as Elder Andre gives us our opening prayer.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this wonderful Sabbath day. Thank you for bringing us here where we can learn more about you and more about how we should function in preparing our children to see you. Give us a good evening. May we be attentive and receptive, and may what is said and done this evening be a means of bringing us closer to you. Bless us once again. Bring those who are on their way safely. This is my prayer. Amen.
Amen. So our first song this evening is number 55 in the Avenue Sing. Heaven came down and glory filled my soul. I want to hear all of you singing.
Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful day that I will never forget. After I wandered in darkness away, Jesus my Savior had met. Oh, what a tender, compassionate friend. He met the need of my heart.
We're just making sure that my people know the song.
Number 5.
Do this one. Yeah, this is our last song.
Number 56. There's within my heart a melody. Jesus whispers sweet and low. Fear not, I am with thee. Peace be still in all of life's ebb and flow.
There's within my heart a melody. Jesus whispers sweet and low. Fear not, I am with thee. Peace be still in all of my ebb and flow. Jesus, loving Jesus, sweetest name I know, fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go, feasting on the riches of this grace, resting beneath the sheltering rain, always looking on his smiling face. That is why I shout and sing. Jesus, loving Jesus, sweetest name I know, fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go. Soon it's coming back to welcome me, for beyond the starry sky, I shall wing my flight towards unknown. I shall reign with him on high. Jesus, loving Jesus, sweetest name I know, fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go. Jesus, loving Jesus, sweetest name I know, fills my every longing, keeps me singing as I go.
Amen.
Good afternoon. Welcome again. Can we all stand, please? We'll do the usual preliminaries that we do in the afternoon. The Pathfinder aim, motto, pledge, song. Pathfinder aim. Pathfinder law first? Okay, sorry, not a Pathfinder for so long. Aim. Okay. Do my honest part, care for my body, keep a level eye.
Go on God's errands. Yes, of God, I will be pure and kind and true. I will keep the Pathfinder law. I'll be a servant of God and a friend to man. The Advent message to all the world in my generation. Loving Lord Jesus, I promise to take an active part in the youth ministry of the church, doing what I can to help others and to finish the work of the gospel in all the world.
Amen.
The love of Christ compels me. Oh, we are the Pathfinder strong. The servants of God are we. Faithful as we march along in kindness, truth, and purity. A message to tell to the world. A truth that will set us free. King Jesus the Savior is coming back for you and me. Adventist youth are we, from every land and sea. Together we work and pray and play in happy harmony. We have a hope to share in others everywhere. A message of love from God above to show the world we care. Adventist youth, Adventist youth, Adventist youth are we.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. We're going to go right into our the adventures. Adventure law. Adventure law.
Can help me to be obedient, be pure, be true, be kind, be respectful, be attentive, be helpful, be cheerful, be thoughtful, be reverent. The Adventurer Pledge, 2, 3.
Because Jesus loves me, I will always do my best.
The Adventurer Song. We are adventurers, at home, at school, at play. We are adventurers. We're learning every day to be honest, kind, and true, to be like Jesus through and through. We are adventurers.
Thank you, everybody. So we're going to go right into to listening to our first speaker, Dr. Carol Jean Bushell. And we're going to listen to a short intro from Sister Bushell.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was told it's a short intro, and short it will be, just like the person who will be coming to us shortly. Carol Jean is the daughter of, is our daughter, David and I. She's the first of our 2 children. They're 4 years apart. When Carol Jean was growing up, she wanted to be a vet. But she eventually changed it to dentistry, I guess by influences from her aunt and others. Carol Jean, like you, or the majority of you, went to the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School and the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School. She was a Pathfinder just like you. She was an Adventurers, and she was also in Pathfinders at the Ephesus Church. And while you guys were singing, she was singing along with you. She then, after she finished the secondary school, she went on to community college, and she then went on to the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill for 1 year. Then she went on to Trinidad and Mount Hope, where she did the majority of her studies in preparation for dentistry. Then after she finished those studies, then she went on to King's College in London to do her master's. And she's currently doing another master's, a MBA in public health. She's pursuing that at this time as well. Yes, they told me it should be short. I think that I've said enough about Carol Jean. Carol Jean, can you please come forward? We welcome you, Carol Jean.
Thank you. Let me take this mic before start saying things I don't want you to say. Good afternoon to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm happy to see the turnout, first of all, but the fact that we have a mixture of persons, young and old, and in between. Yes, and senior like my dad. So the title of my short presentation is Send Them Back to School with a Smile. So practical tips this evening to achieve good oral health. So come Monday and Tuesday, the roads will be extremely busy. Some of us will be quite annoyed because for the last 8 weeks we had no problems with traffic, right? But Monday and Tuesday, hustle and bustling on the road. And the last thing you want as a parent or a guardian is for your child to be crying and complaining for a toothache. So my task this evening is simple. It's just to give you some quick tips, oral health tips on how to take care of your child's teeth and prepare them for back to school. So next week, they'll be going to school with a new bag, new uniform, new shoes, maybe, new everything. So we want them to have a new perspective on how to keep their smile new as well. Right? Good. Excellent. So I think if you can pull up the PowerPoint presentation, thank you very much. Right, so the presentation is going to be quite short, well, kind of short. And because we have a lot of children here this afternoon, I wanted to make it interactive as well. So I, at some point, will be asking children and I know most of you will want to run up here to take part in the activities. I'll be asking you to do different things. So the overview of next slide, please. Thank you. Thank you. So just a brief overview of what we will be discussing this afternoon. A discussion on the state of children's oral health. Then we're going to talk about why teeth are important, why we should care for children's teeth, even though they're temporary teeth and they may fall out at some point, why we should still care for them, how to take care of them, what causes tooth decay, and then practical oral health tips. And at the end, I will give you an opportunity, both adults and children, because I know some of you children will probably have questions as well, to ask me some questions, and hopefully I can answer them. Next slide. Good. So, untreated dental caries is the most common chronic disease in the world. And according to the WHO, dental caries affect approximately 2.2 billion people with permanent teeth and over 530 million children with primary teeth. Dental decay can lead to pain, which can impair classroom learning, cause difficulty with eating and sleeping, increase systemic infection, and also result in absenteeism from school, so missing school. The significant thing about the increased systemic infection is that the infection is not only localized to the mouth of the child, but the infection can spread in your child's body and then cause adverse health effects. So definitely we don't want that to happen. A study was done in 2018 in the US, and this revealed that an estimated 35 million school hours are lost each day due to acute or unplanned dental care. Y'all parents hear that? Y'all parents hear that? And I see this daily, right? So I might not have the data like this, but anecdotal definitely. I see this daily. And according to the WHO, the prevalence of untreated caries of deciduous teeth, so deciduous teeth are the baby teeth, in Barbadian children 1 to 9 years is 44.6%. The next slide. Right, so when you look at this slide, and obviously the image of the guy, the first thing that will jump out at you, and nobody, don't tell any lies, the first thing that will jump out at you is the fact that this gentleman is missing a tooth. But if you look further up, he's also missing his eyebrow. But the first thing that will jump out at you is the fact that he's missing a tooth. So this is evidence enough to show how important teeth are. So why do we need our teeth? Why did God see it fit to create us with teeth? Now, we use our teeth every day, so it's important to keep them healthy. We use our teeth when we smile, children. We use them when we talk. So our teeth helps us to pronounce words. Our teeth helps us to form sounds. And we use our teeth when we eat, so our bodies can get the nourishment that it needs. Baby teeth save the space for the adult teeth. So the baby teeth are like the parking spaces for the adult teeth. So that's why it's very important. It helps to guide the adult teeth into the mouth so the adult teeth can be positioned properly. Healthy teeth build bright, healthy smiles and can also increase the confidence in your child. And I've seen several children, some adults as well too, who hesitate to smile and to laugh because they're embarrassed about the condition of their teeth. So well-functioning teeth can definitely increase your child's confidence. Why care for your children's teeth? Now, simple dental preventative visits occur either sometimes annually, but most times every 6 months, children will go to the dentist to have their teeth checked, have their teeth cleaned, and these visits can be budgeted for and tend to be reasonably priced. Now, the more serious the oral health problem your child has, it equates to the amount of money that you will have to spend or dig deeper into your pocket to fix the problem. So the more serious the oral health problem becomes, the costlier it is to fix it, and these unexpected expenses then can place a major dent in your finances. Now, I don't know about you, but every dollar counts for me, right? And in this time and age, we're trying to make money stretch as long as it can. So normally when parents bring their children in to see me, I not only discuss oral health and taking care of your teeth with the children, but also with the parents from a practical perspective of them not having to spend money unnecessarily to fix things that are preventable, because cavities are definitely preventable. Next slide. I hope I'm not going too fast. Okay, y'all following. Fantastic. Have a good audience, good students. All right, so let's talk about how to take care of your child's teeth. So before the teeth develop and break through into the mouth, it's important that the gum pads are wiped clean. So even though babies wouldn't have teeth, it's still important that you clean their gums. And the reason for this is that it gets the baby into the habit of knowing that after they've been fed or given something, that something is going to happen to their gums and their mouth is going to be clean and whatnot, right? This is essentially how the habit of the child being accustomed to someone cleaning their mouths is developed. So for persons who have newborns, who have babies, I don't see anybody in here today, but I'm sure you will have nieces and nephews and sisters, brothers and whatnot with children. You can let them know that after breastfeeding is finished, just get a damp cloth and just wipe off the gums, and so that you can wipe off all the residue of the milk from off of the gums. That's very, very important. So then around age 2 to 3, what we want to do is start guiding and talking to our children while brushing their teeth. So we're going to still give them a bit of autonomy, because at that age, this is mine, I want to do this. Oh, I can do it myself. No, those kind of things. So you're still giving them a little autonomy, but ultimately it is your responsibility to guide them and to brush them. Don't leave it up to them to brush their teeth by themselves solely, okay? And again, this is being done to encourage good oral hygiene habits. Around age 6, the first permanent molar starts to erupt. So no baby tooth falls out for this first permanent molar to erupt. And sometimes parents are not aware that that permanent molar has erupted into the mouth, and it erupts behind the last baby molar. And why I'm saying this is because it's very important around 5, 6 that you pay significant attention to inside of the child's mouth when you're brushing their teeth, so that those molars can be cleaned really well, because those are permanent molars and they're going to be there till thy kingdom come, right? Those teeth will not fall out, and those erupt around age 6. And age 6 and older, you can give the children a little more independence in brushing. The rule of thumb is once they can tie their laces by themselves, it means that they can probably brush their teeth properly on their own, but you still need to supervise the brushing. So in the morning, everybody's rushing. You want to get out of the house before 7 o'clock, right? Otherwise, you can butt a lot of traffic. You can probably let the child brush their teeth on their own then, around age 7, 8 or so. But in the nighttime, if possible, you must supervise the brushing. The reason being, During the day, the child is eating a lot of food, all the food residues inside of the mouth. And at night, the saliva flow decreases. The saliva helps to wash away anything within the mouth. So if the child does not brush their teeth properly at night, essentially what's happening is that the bacteria inside of the mouth is having a party at night, right? And that is the breeding ground for cavities to form on the teeth. So at night, definitely I will recommend up to probably the age, well, I can be very honest, probably to maybe 15, because some children, they rush and brush, right? But maybe up to the age of 10, 11, you have to, parents, supervise the brushing at night for your children, okay? Good. Well, I said a lot of things, but I did not comment on what's here. But basically what I was said, most of it is on this slide. So you're cleaning your child's gums. You're brushing the child's teeth twice a day for 2 minutes. Utilizing a toothbrush and age-appropriate toothpaste. So some toothpaste, they have 0 to 3 written on it, 3 to 6, and then adult toothpaste. 0 to 3 doesn't have fluoride in it, and I normally recommend to parents because the children will be, when they're eating the toothpaste, brushing their teeth with the toothpaste, it tastes really good. And let me tell you, they're eating most of the toothpaste, right? But the fluoride, even though it protects the teeth, the cumulative consumption of it is not good. So for young children, I normally say use fluoride-free toothpaste. I think I might have 1 or 2 here. I don't want to say first come, first serve because I want everybody out here grabbing and running. But I do have some samples here. In my experience, I realize it's difficult to find the fluoride-free toothpaste in Barbados, and normally persons have to bring it in. But from 0 to 3 for sure, fluoride-free toothpaste is recommended, right? And yes, please. Oh, I will get to that, but no problem. I will answer your question now. So just a smear of toothpaste on the toothbrush, right? And 3 to 6, the toothpaste content, the parts per million fluoride is much less. For the adults, it's 1450. For 3 to 6 is a little less. I cannot remember the exact amount. But again, you're just using a little bit of toothpaste, a pea-sized amount this time around for 3 to 6. All right? Good. Remember when we were younger and we brushing our teeth a whole set of toothpaste? Not like that. Not like that. I had to relearn a lot of things. And the next thing is supervise or assisted brushing. As I said before, flossing is important as well. The reason flossing is important is, especially when the teeth are very close together, the toothbrush bristles cannot get in between the teeth. And plaque lingers in between the teeth. So the flossing is, I will demonstrate or show a slide in a few minutes on the technique for flossing. But flossing is very important to remove the plaque from in between the teeth. If you brush and don't floss, that's like bathing without soap, in my opinion, right? So make sure you floss. It's very, very important. And of course, as I have in caps lock, please limit sugar intake and frequency. Next slide. So, what actually causes tooth decay? So, sugary foods harm our teeth. We've discussed that already. And how this happens is the bacteria and the germs that are found in our mouth in the sticky biofilm, which we call plaque, that utilizes any food that we consume, right? So sugary food or any types of food. Good evening, Sister Bushel. Any types of food and drinks we consume to make acid. So if you put acid on your hand, you will get a hole on your hand. Similarly, if acid goes on your tooth and it happens consistently over a period of time, it will cause holes in your teeth, okay? So as I said, over a period of time, this acid breaks down the enamel. So the enamel, the tooth has 3 layers. The outer layer is the enamel, which is the harder layer. Then under that is dentine, and then the nerve. So the acid breaks down the enamel, resulting in holes or cavities. And basically, that is what causes the well, tooth decay, right? Holes in your teeth. So you need these different things in the environment for tooth decay to occur. You need time. Obviously, you need a tooth. Sugary foods, which we will consume less of from today. And also plaque. And the plaque stays on the teeth if you do not brush your teeth. So all of those things combined is the perfect environment for a disastrous cavity to form. Okay? Good. Next slide. All right, so I'm going to give some practical oral health tips, and hopefully these tips are helpful. It's probably some of them I will have stated before, and I will just be reiterating them now. So in terms of brushing, you can make brushing a family routine. So we as adults, whether we are parents, guardians, aunts, or uncles, we are the ultimate oral health role models. And if we are practicing good oral health habits, then the children in our life will also practice them too. So I'm going to explain how to brush your teeth, and then if anybody's like me, you learn from seeing. So then I'm going to show how you should brush your teeth, and then one brave child is going to come and demonstrate for us how to brush teeth properly. Okay? Good, excellent. So to effectively brush a child's teeth, an adult should hold a small head toothbrush, a soft bristle toothbrush, at a 45-degree angle to the gums, and use gentle, short, circular, or back and forth motions to clean the teeth, all surfaces of the teeth. So the outer part of the teeth, the inner part, and also the chewing surfaces of the teeth. Brushing should be for about 2 minutes. So you can, I know there's some apps that have brush timers, and or you can listen to your favorite song or something while brushing. Don't daydream, actually brush your teeth, but it should be for about 2 minutes, ensuring all the teeth are reached, and then you have the child spit out the excess toothpaste rather than rinsing with water, so some of the fluoride, a little bit of the fluoride stays on the teeth. And of course, you want to make sure that you're brushing the tongue, because the tongue harbors a lot of bacteria. And most times when an odor is emanating from the mouth is because you're not cleaning the tongue properly. And another reason is you're not flossing either. So plaque is stuck in between the teeth, and bacteria will cause odor, right? So let me show you how to brush, and then somebody will come up here and demonstrate as well. And you're holding the toothbrush 45 degrees. I know you might not have a ruler in your house, right? Well, you might, but not to put on your teeth to measure 45. But basically, it's like an angle. So what you want to do is make sure the bristles are on a little bit under the gum, like by the gum line, okay? So when you're brushing in circular motion, you are agitating all the plaque that is along the gum line. So you brush all around. Good. Each surface, so you're brushing the teeth that are close to your cheek, and you're also brushing the teeth that are close to your tongue, so the inside surfaces of your teeth, okay? So you're brushing, and this is for 2 minutes. Getting all the surfaces, inside part as well, circular motion, and then the chewing surfaces, which is the top part of your tooth. You have to brush there as well, okay? And you do the same thing at the top. So we're not forgetting the teeth at the top, okay? And then after that, well, Mr. Dinosaur here does not have a tongue. But after you brush your teeth, then you have to brush your tongue. So who's going to come and show me how to brush teeth? Oh, my bad. Oh, sorry. Oh, Lord. My apologies. Sorry about that. All right, so, so you're brushing like this. Circular motions all around. All the surfaces. Inside as well, right? And you have to go right back to the last tooth, okay? And place the toothbrush near to the gum line and circular motions all around. And then also the chewing surfaces of the teeth, okay? All right, good. I'll be doing the same thing at the top. And then you also brush it. You have to brush the tongue as well. All right, so one person come up. Oh, but I don't know even put their hand first. I need a moderator. Oh, my Lord, good there. A number of children are going to have the opportunity to do things, so don't worry, okay? So let's show everybody how you brush your teeth, how you should brush your teeth. Turn this way, look. Yes, all right. Circular motions all around. Good. And you're brushing. How old are you?
7.
7 years old, all right. Go ahead. Brushing the teeth at the top, inside as well. See? Good. And on the surfaces that you're chewing on. Perfect. And then we're going to pretend that there's a tongue here. And we're going to brush the tongue as well. So you have to make sure you get all the surfaces going all around, okay? All right? Good. Let me get you a sticker. We're doing a good job. Just now. I hope it don't cause no pandemonium in here this evening. That is yours. What do you say? You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Who's next? Come and show me how you brush your teeth. And how old are you?
3
3
years.
years old. All right. So brush, circular motion. See? All around. Fantastic. Look. You're looking at what you're doing. Look, you got to look at what you're doing. Look, you got to pay attention. This is why parents got to help children, right? Brush the teeth. That's it. Right, all around. Good. And at the top as well, circular motions. This is what you have to do tonight when you're brushing your teeth, okay? And then you don't forget to brush your tongue. All right? You want a sticker?
Yeah.
You want a sticker?
Yeah. Yes, please.
What is your name?
3 years old.
What is your name?
3 years old.
No, your name is 3 years old?
Yeah.
What mommy and daddy call you?
3 years old.
Look, this sticker is yours. Anybody else wants to try? All right, come. 2 more people, come. Let me let her go first, right? Good. Hold me. This is one of my patients. So you better brush properly. Go ahead, let me see. All right, all around. Circular motion. And inside, yes. Good. And at the top. That what?
My gum was hurting me right here at the side, so my mommy had to put something on it.
Right.
And it was burning, so I had to take it out
We
right.
can talk about that after, all right? All right, good. Good there. Don't forget to tell me. Good, and then brush the tongue. Fantastic. Thank you. Good. Let me get you a sticker. You don't want your sticker? Oh, this one. That's not right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And who do we have here? What's your name?
Elise.
Elise. You said Elise? How old are you, Elise?
6.
6 years old. You ready to go back to school? Yes? You have all your uniforms and everything? Good, fantastic. So show everybody how you will brush your teeth.
You're left-handed?
Oh, she left-handed, yeah. You're left-handed? Use this hand, all right. So look, hold it. And circular motions, okay? Don't forget that. Circular motions all around your teeth. And then inside as well. Good. And at the top, circular motions. We have to remove all the sugar bugs. You don't want the sugar bugs to eat our teeth. See? And then you have to brush your tongue. All right? Oops. That's all right. Thank you, sweetie.
If the toothbrush should drop, what should you do?
Wash it.
Wash it off before you put it in your mouth, right?
Yes. This is yours. What do you say?
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Good. Thank you. Thank you. I love to get children involved because they learn better that way, in my opinion. Right? Now we're going to move on to flossing. So, to floss a child's teeth, you get a piece of floss, wrap most of it around one finger with the rest on the other, and then leave an inch of the floss to guide between the teeth. So what you're doing is you're holding it tightly between the thumb and the forefinger. This is for parents, because the parents, obviously, you will have to floss your children's teeth, right? And gently push it between each tooth. So you curve the floss like a C shape against each tooth so that it is guided along the tooth under the gum line where it can remove the plaque. Okay? Good. Perfect. So back to the slide. Make brushing a family routine. We're brushing twice a day for at least 2 minutes. And again, use age-appropriate toothpaste. Children 3 and under, a smear of toothpaste. The young lady in the back had asked that earlier. And then children over 3 years, use a pea-sized amount of toothpaste. And of course, after brushing, you must floss. Yes, please. It's on the top of the class for you, man. The question is, if you have on braces, how will you get to floss your teeth properly? That is a fantastic question. So there are various devices, various things that you can use. I don't have photos of them presently in the presentation, but there are things called floss threaders. So it's a loop, and you put the floss through the loop, and it has like it's not a needle, but a pointed end, and that pointed end can get under the wires, so you can get the floss in between the teeth, right? So, and then some persons also use water picks as well. That helps them to floss in between their teeth when they have braces on. That answer was sufficient? All right, good. Yes. Yeah. Spit, don't rinse. Yeah, you don't rinse. Yeah, so that some of the fluoride stays on the teeth. So how old is he? 5, right? So you're just using like a piece. Adults as well too. Yes, please. So just use a pea-sized amount of toothpaste and brush really well and everything. Once you're brushing, you get like the foam building up in the mouth, and you just spit out the toothpaste. If you rinse off the toothpaste, the little bit of fluoride that's on the teeth, and that's like added protection for them when they're sleeping. Yeah, so he's correct. Yeah, I hope you tell him he's correct. No, you know. Yes, okay. All right. All right, the next slide. Good. So we're packing our lunch boxes for school on Monday or Tuesday. Packing a lunchbox full of foods and drinks with sugar is a recipe for disaster and will lead to what, children? What would you get if you eat a lot of sugar and candy? Correct. So that will lead to a lot of cavities. So you must consider packing a lunch that is high in protein, fibers, and some carbohydrates. So we live in the tropics, and it gets extremely hot. So it's important, children, that you remain hydrated during the day. So mummies and daddies and uncles and aunts would give you water. Water is the best thing for you to drink. The consumption of sugary beverages should be limited in between meals, so water is best to be consumed in between meals. And of course, you must be mindful of hidden sugars in foods. So it's important that you read the labels. So several cereals, granola bars, and such have hidden sugars like syrup and different names they give to them. But at the end of the day, it's all sugar, okay? So just be mindful of that when you're buying the snacks. So I have a little activity again. This will be the last activity for the evening. And over here, I don't know if we have to move this, so that they can see. Right. So you can bring the easel like around here so they can see. So someone who hasn't gotten an opportunity as yet, thank you very much. Does that? Yes. Come, sweetie pie, come. So on this board we have a row for tea-friendly foods, and then one for cavity-forming foods. And right here, I have some pictures of some foods, okay? You look a smart boy. So what I want you to do, look here and choose one tea-friendly food and one cavity-forming food and put it where you think it should go. You might have to help me with the tape. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, well done. Fantastic. That's yours, and this sticker. You're welcome. Anybody else? Come. Huh? And another child from this side. Choose one that's tea friendly, and then another one that's cavity. Yeah. Fantastic. You're welcome. All right, my boy, you can go ahead, sweetie pie. It's your son. Isn't it? Cavity forming, good. And then tea friendly. Yeah, and then the other one, choose one that is tea friendly. And you stick it, don't let my mommy tell you what to do. Stick it where you think it should go. Yes, smart boy. Nice, fantastic. Now I hope on Monday and Tuesday and all through this week, lunch boxes are looking like this and not like this. Because the children know exactly what they should be eating, right? And what they shouldn't be. What's that? That's true. That is very true. That is very true. Good, good point. All right, let's see here. All right, so the next slide, another thing we have to do is guard against dental injuries. We're coming near to the end. And of course, we know kids, you can change to the next slide. Thank you. The next slide, thanks. Good. Of course, we know kids are very busy and they have a lot of energy, and therefore dental injuries are bound to happen at any point. Now, the treatment modality or the type of treatment that you will give after a dental injury is dependent on the type of tooth that's being injured and also the type of injury that has occurred. Essentially, if any injury occurs, just stay calm, apply pressure if there's bleeding, and get to your dentist as soon as you can. So, for children who play contact sports, I highly recommend wearing protective sports gear and also mouth guards. And of course, we always have to wear our seat belts. And children, avoid standing on chairs and desks at school because you can easily fall off of those chairs and desks. Avoid chewing on ice and nutshells, even bones, because those things can crack your teeth. And when you are on the playground at school, just be mindful of where you are, who is in your space, and what persons are doing. If you're going near to a swing and one of your friends are on the swing, try not to go close to the swing because the swing can hit you in your face, okay? And the International Association of Dental Traumatology, they have an app, I believe it's free, which gives guidance to parents on what to do after a dental injury. I believe that every parent in here should try to download that app. The app is called Tooth SOS, so TOOTH SOS. I don't have adequate time to discuss the different injuries and pertaining to like the type of tooth and the type of injury. It will take me all evening to do that, but this app gives you the information, and then you won't be panicking too much. Okay? Good. And lastly, visiting a dental office, the next slide, thank you. Visiting a dental office is a habit that should be started early. So the American Association of Pediatric Dentistry, they recommend the child's first visit should occur when their first baby tooth erupts or by the age of 1, whichever occurs first. And those dental checkups should occur every 6 months. And the dental checkups can be a great experience for children. And it's important that parents maintain a positive attitude when discussing or answering questions about your child's upcoming dental visit, because obviously we will have had our own experiences growing up and also as adults, and we don't want to put that fear on our child because invariably it would not be their experience, okay? When you come to me, are you scared? Exactly, you see? So we try to make the experience as child-friendly as possible, okay? Good. So we're at the end. I want to thank you for your time and being so attentive, and thank you for having me this evening. I don't know if I should do the questions and answers now or after the next presentation. You can. Right, okay. Let me just step down. Have a good evening, everybody. Oh, yes.
I wanted to add as a pediatrician, and the main common problem that I see is that we need to realize that the children's teeth erupt by about 6 months, and this is a time when breastfeeding and formula feeding is not to be occurring all night long. That is the most common cause of dental caries in your children, is when you put that bottle in their mouth and make them go to sleep with it in their mouth. It stays on the teeth all night long, the sugar, and as Dr. Bushell had said in her presentation. So they're supposed to have their last breastfeed and their last bottle, brush their teeth, and go to their bed and go sleep. Okay? Not be beside you so that when them wake up, you can roll over and just push it in the mouth. Okay? Because those black teeth, there is very little anybody can do about them ugly black teeth till they fall out on their own. Okay? And I've had some children who have had to have 6 to 8 teeth taken out at one point in time, and we've had to knock them unconscious to do it because you can imagine how it would be unpleasant. Please do not put your children at risk for these things. It's easily avoidable. So not all things. And milk, which is good for your teeth, is not vanilla milk. It is not Swiss milk. It is not hot chocolate tea. Those are not teas. Those are chocolate bars in disguise. Okay? All right. Amen.
Thank you very much, Dr. Steele Duncan. Yes, I'm going to piggyback on that because I do see a lot of children coming in to see me, and at age 1, they already have all the teeth that are in their mouth have cavities, and it's for that same reason. So thank you very much for adding that. That is extremely important. Now, sometimes parents say, oh, they're going to cry, need comfort, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, what will happen is that the child is going to come in to see me or another dentist, and they have to be put to sleep to have those teeth extracted, right? So, yes, I totally agree.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bushell. We have to be moving on because, we have to keep to a particular time. I regret to inform you that Professor St. John will be here I am happy to inform you that Professor Anne St. John will be here on the afternoon of September 27th to do her presentation. So September 21 to 27th is Health Week, and she will be here on the 27th because she couldn't make it this afternoon. So we'll be happy to welcome her, and I'm happy to welcome all of you back. So thank you, and I'm going to ask Sister Alison Caddo, a member of the Health Committee, to hand over a token to Dr. Bushell. You may not expect it, but we're giving it because we're kind. And while we're on that, Sister Rachel Bartlett, who led the song service, is also a member of the Health Committee. And picture? Yes? Okay.
Good evening, Dr. Bushell. Excellent presentation like yourself. And we, the members of the Good News Seventh-day Adventist Church, just want to give you a token of our appreciation for coming and sharing such lovely knowledge with us.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you. And without further ado, I'm going to welcome Dr. Julianne Steele Duncan. When I was a medical student, she was one of those people who taught me in the pediatric department. She may not remember that because I'm probably older than her. But, and she became my neighbor when I came to Barbados. She's a pediatrician, as I said. She may tell you where her practice is. She didn't want me to tell you. But I'm going to welcome Dr. Julianne Steele Duncan. Help me to welcome her as she talks to us.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Steele Duncan, Dr. Julie to most of my patients. I'm a pediatrician. I've been a doctor for over 30 years. Look young, right? Also been married for 30 years. Can you imagine? Oh, my God. See, I tell you, things that we took on in our time. Childbride. That's the story I'm going with. All right, so I'm Jamaican. But I've been living here for 21 years now. If there's any difficulty, people tell me that I speak very fast and that I've still maintained my very Jamaican accent. So if you're having any difficulty understanding anything I'm saying, even though I think I'm usually very, very clear, you can just stop me and I will slow down. I'm not a person who likes to have PowerPoint presentations because I find that everybody is busy reading PowerPoint presentations instead of listening to the meat of the matter and figuring out what to do. So basically, I was asked initially to speak to you about one topic and then it switched into two. And I'm supposed to do this in 20 to 25 minutes. I suffer very much from verbal diarrhea. So if I need to be curbed, remind me to curb me if I go off topic, because I can be very passionate about certain things. All right? Unfortunately, children, there will be no prizes. And most of the news I'm going to give, they are not going to be happy to hear. Right? So there will be a lot of crying and tears when you go home and you try to implement what Dr. Steele Duncan is going to tell to you as parents. And I know that all of you parents are going to look to your children and you're going to say, are you listening to her? I am not speaking to them. I am speaking to you, the parents. You are who are in charge. Being a parent is hard work. Loving people is hard work, especially when they can be quite disgusting to you. And the children of today are very clever. They don't say things like, I hate you anymore, like how we used to say to our parents. They say things that are damaging to you as a mother when they say, you don't love me. That's the way they put it. It's not, I hate you anymore. It's, you don't love me. You know? So they can be very, very manipulative. But I tell everybody, we do not negotiate with terrorists. Okay? All right? Children, you need to understand, even though all of you can say that they understand what you're saying, they may understand the words, but they do not have the emotional capacity to really understand. They don't have the emotional intelligence to follow through on the things I'm saying. Whether I'm instructing about diet, whether I'm instructing about screen time or anything like that. They only know I want what I want. As a matter of fact, before the age of 3, sharing is not even a concept in the mind of a child. So just like everything else, you have to make them mimic you, which also means that when I discuss screen time, you too have to do and follow the rules of screen time so that they can see that this is how it's supposed to be. Okay? So, I might have more than the children crying after my talk today. So I'm going to be talking about screen time, and also they wanted me to touch on, since it's back to school, on some of the things about the stress and anxiety of going back to school. So I'm going to try to do it as succinct and brief as possible. But like I said, I tend to get distracted because I think I've already been distracted off of topic. So let's start immediately. So basically, screen time is something that's impossible to get rid of in this day and age, and especially after COVID when everything became screen time, right? But you know, it's when we discuss screen time as pediatricians, we're talking about not only the TV, we're talking about the phone, we are talking about the tablets, the iPads, all of those things. And parents love to tell me, oh, but it's only educational things. And I'm telling you, it is not just educational things. And even if it is just educational things, they are not learning. They are learning like how everybody learns the latest dancehall or soca song. They're learning by rote. They're not learning through situation. They're not learning how to speak language. They're not learning how to communicate. There is a very big difference between speech and language. Right? And it's getting worse and worse. This is like a big problem that we are having in our pediatrics now, especially with the younger children. They are significantly language delayed. They have significant socialization problems, and they're becoming almost autistic-like, and a lot of it is due to screen time. And then the parents all say to me, well, how do they expect me to them to go to bed? Oh, no, you put them in the crib and you walk away. It seems very straightforward to me. Or they like to tell me they will not like that. And I'm just like, I'm not understanding the problem. Right? So, I don't know. They seem to be able to argue about everything else except for when it comes to screen time. Because unfortunately for parenting, we have now created the screen as our babysitter. So they're like, well, we have so much cooking to do and I have this to do. I'm very sure your mother cooked for you as well too and had to do cooking and cleaning in the house. And you did not have any TV to be on. You did not have a tablet to be on. You didn't have any of those things, right? When everything, when everybody says there needs to be a cell phone when the child goes to school, I said, why? We all didn't go to school before without a cell phone. Did our parents have a problem finding us? No. As a matter of fact, they could find us much easier then than we can seem to be able to find them now. Right? So there's a lot of things. So now I don't want to be the monster that says that screen time is all negative. It's a it has some positive effects. It allows for communications, in terms of video calls to a parent who might not be in the household or things like that. It allows for communication with other people through video calls. It allows for some educational, because there are educational apps on the screen time. And, it allows for creativity and connection. They have all these things where they can make and draw and so on forth, right? But it really can have negative effects on children's health. And let me go to my big slide so that I do not get off topic. So the biggest thing is reduced academic performance. Parents don't believe this, but excessive screen time causes your children to perform poorly in school. Right? More than 2 to 3 hours per day is linked with lower grades, especially in math and in reading. Okay? Overexposure causes attention and learning problems. They're not able to focus on things. They can focus on their games. I mean, the parents will tell me they can focus on that TV and you ever try to stand in front of a child when they're watching a show? And them are trying to pre around of you. But if you were to sit down there and ask them to read a story, they can't get past one line without being totally distracted off. And that's signs of addiction. That's not healthy. When I'm in the office and the children are crying because I tell them they cannot go on YouTube, that's not normal. Crying over YouTube, that you can't go on YouTube, this is not healthy. This is not good, right? And then there's a lot of sleep deprivation. I do not understand why these children are allowed to carry these phones and tablets into their bed at nighttime, right? And, and then in the older ones, you do not know what is happening when they're getting these calls at 2 and 3 o'clock. Before, when it used to be a landline that used to have to ring, you know that your mother and your father would wake up. So better nobody don't call after 9 o'clock. Because my father would pick up a phone and say, you must have the wrong house. Right? Okay? There's reduced homework completion. Or even if they say they finish the homework, them just rush through it so that they can go and play their games. Right? And then, like I was saying before, language and literacy delays. So there's significant problems with these type of things. There's a lot of cyberbullying now, right? There's a lot of social media things. All of these things are happening with this excessive screen time. All of my children, everybody used to want to become doctor, lawyer, and Indian chief. Now everybody wants to be a gamer. That's the big plan. None of them don't know how to code. None of them don't know nothing about computer sciences, but all of a sudden they all want to be gamers, right? Or footballers. I don't know, that's the two type of things that everybody wants to be, right? Yes, or an influencer. Like they think that anybody's going to come and find them in the little waya of Barbados in the back of Beyond, right? So, and maybe it has happened to one person, but it's the one out of the millions of you. To be making money on the internet and so on forth, right? And, so when we come to talk about screen times, this is where we're going to talk about things now. So under the age of 2, 0 hours. 0 hours. In my office, when children used to cry, parents used to stick a Sousa in their mouth, and the dentist might not like that. But I prefer that to them putting a screen in front of them to calm them down. And then all the parents said, oh, no, this is just for my office. But the child know how to zoom across at 9 months. Zoom across. And move to the next page and find where YouTube is so that they can play that one song that plays over and over and over again. And everybody likes to tell me, oh, it's Miss Rachel. I say, oh, you mean the crack cocaine, Miss Rachel? Yes, I know what you're referring to. That might sound very severe, but I refer to her as crack cocaine. You ever try to take your children away from Miss Rachel? Very big problems. right? And in the older ones, it's all of this gaming. I have teenage boys who are getting urinary tract infections because they will not get up off of the game to go and urinate. And I mean, the parent says to me, oh, I've gone as far as to turn off the breaker. I said, turn off the breaker? And she says, like, but he's figured out how to turn it back on. Well, yeah, that is my expression as well, too, because I said, boy, if I reach the stage of turning off the breaker, which it would never be because the game station would have been in the garbage. I mean, it seemed like a very simple solution to me. It would have given a long time, right? But if I reach the stage of turning off the breaker and you dared to turn back on the breaker, your fingers would be broken along with the breaker. I don't even understand this, right? I cannot understand it, right? And these are the sensible discussions I'm having with parents. I have 18-monthers who they brought in, one woman brought in a child to me. The child is suffering from exhaustion, and she's always tired, and she cannot understand. So when I'm asking about the sleep healthy habits of this 18-monther, they set the TV to go off at 3 a.m. And I'm like, and you coming to me to ask me why she's tired? I don't need to, I know why she's tired. I don't understand why you don't understand why she's tired. And they look at you with these big open eyes, and they will believe the influencer not to give vaccines over they will believe me that it is this thing that is causing their child to be this language delayed, right? So we're having a lot of problems with that. And less than 2, no screen time. Between 2 and 6 years old, not more than 1 hour of highly educational screen time. Not more than 1 hour. And then after that, after the age of 6, we look at balance. Personally, I do not believe that anybody under the age of 6 needs a tablet. Nobody under the age of 13 needs a cell phone. I don't even know if 13 needs a cell phone. All the children unhappy with me now. Yeah, I know. Auntie is not telling you nice things. But we are trying to make you into appropriate, because the problem is that they are using these things as their soothers, even at big ages. So the emotional intelligence of children and the things that they learned through play, through communication, are being lost because of screen time. And then there's this whole thing where they're talking on the internet. I have a child going to BCC who I saw today. And she's telling me about a boyfriend that she has who the mommy does not know about. He's supposedly younger than her, going to St. Lucie Secondary, but she has never met him before. Barbados big enough that you could not meet somebody before? You're a boyfriend? Who is this boy you are speaking to online? Is this a boy you are speaking to online? Or is this a man? Do you know? Are you sending him naked pictures? What is going on? And these are the kind of conversations you have to have. We cannot stand on religious high horses or anything like that because our children are being exposed to things. And you have to be very, very careful. And I tell parents, because when I give these talks, I tell parents, you have to be very careful how you broach them and say things like, oh, sex is terrible, and this is terrible, and that is terrible, and you're going to go to hell, because what ends up happening is they don't tell you when these things happen. I tell everybody all the time, it is not the good children that get catch in problems. The bad children know what to do. The good children, when they get catch in problems, have nobody to turn to figure out how to get out of the situation that they are in. We have to be non-judgmental. We have to be very open with our children. And if we are practicing certain practices, our children will follow in our footsteps, especially if we train them in our footsteps. Children are to have choices, they are to have autonomy, but they are also, that autonomy is within your purview. So it is, do you want pumpkin or carrots with your chicken for dinner tonight? Would you like to ride your tricycle or play some football with daddy this evening? Would you like to color or would you like to play your Legos? So it is choices, but choices within what you have to do. And there is no such thing as them don't go to church. I tell all my things that if you're a church going, if you're not a church going, that's fine. But if you're a church going person and you have children, they are never of the age to know until they are 18 that they do not want to go to church with you. Them sit down in there from day 1 till day 18, and then them can go about their business. And by day 18, they will have become habits, good, healthy habits, right? Whatever is your belief system and so on and forth. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to necessarily be Christian, whatever it is, but you want them to be in the same habits that you are doing. I have parents coming in, and you see I'm going off topic now, coming in with their chairs with tattoo. The parent have tattoos and piercings up and they bleach your hair blonde. And I have no problem with that. But then you're bringing your 16-year-old and she has done this, and I can't believe she has done this. I did mine when I was an adult. I said, but she's emulating you. Right? So you can't be here quarreling with her when she looks like mini you. I do not understand. We have to practice these things and make the children follow. So we have to go back to certain family values that we did not do before. And people always are very confused when I say family values, because people think I'm talking about religious family values, I don't business what the family unit is made up of. Whoever is in the home looking after the children, we need to start doing things. We get home on time. We all eat dinner together at the table. We all talk about what happened in our day. Take a 20-minute walk together before dinner and talk about how the day goes so that you can get some exercise in. These are the things, because everybody comes home, everybody is in front of a screen and eating and so on and forth, and we do not know what is happening in our households with one another. You show respect to your partner while you're there at the dinner table. Even if you're vexed with him for the day, you're going to smile through that dinner table and make it emulate to your children what you want for your children. So the definite areas that screen time is not allowed. Screen time is not allowed during meal times. Screen time is not allowed an hour before bed. You need to have your children on bedtime routines. Interrupted sleep and nutrition are one of the most important things for your children. And this is some of the things that are being disrupted by screen time. You need for them to be in a set pattern. Children need to know the same thing happens every single day. I have my dinner. I brush my teeth. I get read a story. And then the lights go out and we go to bed. Right? So these are the important things. Those are specific times when absolutely I forbid screen time. Okay? And same thing with eating. If it is that you have to get up early and fix the breakfast early, I don't want no them eating rubbish in the car on the way to school. Always everybody think that they're feeding them something healthy because they're giving them the Cheerios, what they call it, the honey nut Cheerios in a little plastic bag that they're jamming on the way to school. Okay? Or if they're too late to eat a dinner, then you get a cup of Milo to keep you through the day. Right? So half of these things, half of these loss of basic things is what is causing poor nutrition, underweight, overweight, poor sleeping skills, too much screen time, language delay, and a very big disruption of what is happening with our children. We need to be very mindful of our children. We need to realize that we are parents and we are the responsible ones. Loving people is hard. And when they scream and go on bad, you just have to look at them and say, you know, I'm doing what's best for you. You need to press pause on these tears. Later on when your father, that's what I used to tell man, later on when your father come home, you can press play again and see if he's interested, because I am not. And if my children try to turn things into a fight, I say, you want to make this a fight? Here it is go. I'm your mother, I win. Fight is over. You understand? We have to take back control of our children and our lives. And when you get these children in structure, I'm going to tell you, it's going to become easier for you. Because you too will get sleep, which is important. You too will get exercise when you walk with your children. You too will get good nutrition. When you brush your teeth with your children, you too will brush your teeth and floss. And everybody will be healthier for it. So now let me quickly touch on going back to school. Quick. All right? So going back to school can be very anxious time for children because basically what's going to happen is a new environment. They're usually going into a different class with different friends. The work gets harder. They're worried about the work, especially the bright ones. The ones that are not so bright never usually so worried. There's always the bright ones who are very, very worried, right? And, you know, it's going back to a structured environment, right? And so these things, all of these things can cause anxiety, right? You know, and, you know, it's all about looking good and think there. It's not actually about the education anymore, and that's part of the problem, all right? So the things to decrease this anxiety is to set structure. Like I said, we get up. If we have to get up earlier so that we can have a good, wholesome breakfast and everybody sit down and eat breakfast, and that we can pack the lunch kit if you can from the night before, you need to get yourself into a structured routine so that everything runs seamlessly. Okay? All right? And you need to realize that there are going to be 30 of the children in your teacher's class. They cannot be the parent of 30 children. You have to do the parenting at home because when they go to school, it is 30 wildebeests and crowd control that is happening. That's what's happening nowadays. And then all of you come in is like, it's not my child that could be possibly doing that. And yes, it is your little Johnny that is behaving just like that. Okay? So, you know, I mean, and I find that we get angry about the wrong things. We get angry about why they're not allowing them to braid the hair and how long the hair can be. And I'm just telling you this, when you give children an inch, they take a mile. Right? So it happens in all things. If you see my medical students with what I call bedpan sweepers, because the braids are all the way down to here, I said, how is that sanitary? And they tell me I'm anti-black people and anti-braid. I said, I don't understand how that has to be anti-black people and anti-braid. I'm anti-unsanitary. Them nails, which I can't even figure out how you wipe your bottom, I do not know how you're cleaning them to look at my patient. Right? So I'm just saying that people take things far and they interpret things wrong. So structure is one of the most important things when rearing children, one of the most important things when going back to school. Right? And, you know, let me go to I have to go back to make sure that I touched everything. So, you know, and the homework and the academic challenges can be a lot, but also parents expect a lot, and this is ridiculous. Because I have parents who come in and they're not doing their work and thing there, and I'm just like, so which school you went to again? No, tell me again, no. Where was the bride school you went to with your 90s that you think that your child who is getting 70s needs assessment and is so poor? I need to know what genes were given to see what is the potential of this child that you suddenly think needs assessment and so on and forth. But again, that is a lot of screen time that has caused a lot of this. We need to do a lot more reading. Children learn through play, okay? They learn how to modulate themselves. They learn how to self-soothe themselves. If I tell people these days about self-soothing, they tell me about how I'm practicing child abuse. I said, no, but children must know not doing anything is a skill that we need to retrain people how to do. Sit still and do nothing. That's one good thing church teach them. Don't feel like that is not a skill to learn. Even if it's boring, good. You must learn to sit still and do nothing. Right? So things that will show you that your child is stressed. A lot of times they complain of tummy ache and so on and forth. That's the most common complaint in children where they're stressed is tummy pain. If they want you to rub the belly, nothing is wrong with them. Do not come to my office with videos showing me them rolling all over the floor. That is for your benefit. And I do not know how you cannot see that it is a show. Right? So structure, reassurance, continuity, good sleep, good, I cannot say how sleep hygiene and nutrition are the important things. Okay? All right? And so, and the preparation is important. So organize your school supplies, have everything ready so that they don't feel like, I mean, that sometimes is not very easy because if your children are like mine, they like to come home and say, oh, I needed a dozen brownies for tomorrow for the bake sale. I say, look like you need to learn how to bake brownies, right? So they call me the dragon mother. I am the mother dragon, okay? That's what my children have in their phone as me, okay? All right? Because I do not negotiate. That is my rules. There are certain things we don't negotiate, but I do not fight certain things. So like I was saying, when you're doing academic things, I do homework, and then under 6, after homework, they must run about and play. Okay, under 6. Forget that. I don't even know under 6 why I'm sending home homework, which is just parental work. It's not homework, right? But after that, especially like around when you get into the 8, 9, so on forth, 20 minutes of math, 20 minutes break, 20 minutes of reading or some form of composition, writing a story or something, and that is it. After 20 minutes, there is nothing left in their head to take in anymore. So I am very sure your heads are all full now because I have way gone over my 20 minutes. And so like I said, we just have to be very reasonable. Remember, I find us as parents, we're very unreasonable in what we expect of our children when we ourselves could do no better. Do you understand? Okay? They do not have the emotional intelligence. You're sitting down there getting angry with them and frustrating yourself, and you're only frustrating yourself. I can tell you under a certain age, after the certain 5 minutes, so like when people used to say, when I go home, remind me to beat you, they will not remember what you are beating them for. It is a waste of time. If punishment is not swift and immediate, then it doesn't make any sense at all. And what I usually do is I make contracts with my children. And these are not unreasonable contracts. I put up a chart. I choose the 3 things I want the most for them. So if it's packing away your school bag before the day before, and so on and forth. And each time they do it, I put a star on the chart. And if they've accumulated 7 stars in a row, then we will do something pleasant that they like you give them a sticker or something. Please don't make it any big exciting thing. We're not getting a game station for 7 stars in a row, okay? All right? Okay? All right, I think that's it. I think I've done too much. So I could talk forever on parenting.
So don't go far away. Thank you very much, Dr. Steele Duncan. And Sister Cadell will have a token for you. But Andre, it seems like you have a counterpart, Dragon Mother and Psycho Dad.
Dr. Steele Duncan, you've left us with some encouraging words. Don't hesitate, don't negotiate. And I trust that we all would have learned something in a timely way as we enter into schools, respectively, maybe tertiary, secondary, or primary. So we do appreciate you for coming and sharing with us. This is a token of our appreciation yet again from the Good News Sabbath-day Adventist Church. Welcome.
One last thing. I don't mean to beat your children, I just mean sometimes what they need is just a little bit of ignoring. If you ignore the concert will stop. If you participate in the concert, it will grow.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I hope the next time we have an invited guest, doctor, on September 27th, that you'll be here. I'm sure it will be very different. Everybody has different styles, different content. But I hope we learned something. Yeah, we sure did. we're going to have to shut down because we may not be streaming beyond this point. But if you do have some questions, we can still take them on. They may not be uploaded, but we can still have a little bit of private time if you have questions. So we thank you very much, media personnel, for being with us up to this point. And any questions? We can probably take a few, then we have a prayer session, and then we will go home. Any lingering questions, burning questions? Not too burning. Sister Alfred? Can someone? Here comes Amatai. Turn it on. Okay, so we have 3 hands up. We'll take 3. Yeah, I see you, Kelly.